Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica, and this podcast is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all of the crazy things that I seem to jump on. It is Friday. I'm so excited. It is the Friday before Christmas, and it has been an amazing 2019, and I hope your 2019 has been incredible as well. Today, I want to talk about something that I think is very important to discuss, especially this time of the year, and that is goal setting. Setting goals, the importance of doing it, and how to set goals for your voiceover business, especially since we should be looking at setting our goals for 2020. Okay, let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, let's dive into this goal setting, shall we? I think there's definitely a process that goes into setting goals, and I want to go over this process with you. And I really want to encourage you to, listen to this and write this stuff down if you have a pencil or paper, but you don't have to. Don't get out a pencil or paper and then go off the road because you're driving. But just pay close attention and really take this to heart, and don't dismiss this as, something that is just, fluff, or it's something to think about. More so, I want you to really take this to heart and physically work on this, okay? And so, we're going to be talking about, or I'm going to talk to you right now about how to set an effective goal for your voiceover business. And I think the word here, or the word that sticks out to me, and I just inserted it on purpose, was the word effective. The reason why I think this is important is because, we all set goals in our lives, whether we are, big on writing them down or not. We all have a goal, right? Like, we wouldn't have started a voiceover business or thinking of starting a voiceover business if we didn't have a goal. Those goals could be lots of money. You could even put a goal on, I want to make an extra $3,000 a month. I want to make an extra $15,000 a month. I want to have some really cool microphones. I want my I want a room in my house to look all decked out and foam and everything. I just, I want to be a part of the community. We all have these goals that we set, but most of them are not good goals. And what I mean by that is they are not goals that actually help us succeed and accomplish them. A lot of times the goals that we make for ourselves are so ambiguous. They're so out there. And they're not even necessarily that they have to be that big of goals. They're just unobtainable because we throw out these big words that are that there's no way in reaching it because we don't have clarity and how we are going to do it, when we are going to do it by, and what we are going to do to accomplish it. So this is what I want to talk to you today about. There's a 3-step process that I like to use to create goals. And from this point on, I would love to see you create all of your goals this way, whether it's for your life, whether it's for your business, or whatever. And I don't mean to be presumptuous in thinking that I'm going to change the way you make goals, after you've made them for your whole life. But if you're not using this method, at least give it a shot and see what you think, okay? So it is a 3-part process to creating a goal. The first part is coming up with what you want to do. The second part is coming up with what you are going to do in order to get that. And the third part is what time frame you are going to give yourself in order to do it. So let's kind of dive into this, okay? Let's boil it down here. So the first part, what do you want to accomplish? So let's say that, you are right now, we're not going to put a fluff on it. Let's say you're all about the money. All right. You're all about the money And, you're like, all right, Anthony, that's all great. I want to make $5,000 a month. I want to make $5,000 every month. If I make $5,000 a month, everything is going to be fine. I can quit my job. I can take my wife out to her favorite steak place. I can go fishing with my friends on the weekend. Anthony, it will be a life that I have dreamed of. And I can do those fun commercials for, the Cowboys. So whatever you want. But let's say it's $5,000 a month, okay? So now you want to make $5,000 a month. The first thing we need to do is figure out how much you're making right now. So let's say right now you are making $0 a month. So you are making $0 a month. So the first thing that you want to write down is I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month. That is your goal. That is the first part of this process. I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month. Okay? That is the pie in the sky, the goal that is going to make you the happiest person in the world. All right? Next, how are we going to do that? What are we going to use as our vehicle in order to get us there? Okay? Now remember, this is the pie in the sky goal. Okay? So I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month by doing what? Okay, let's say that you say by doing audiobooks. Okay, I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month by narrating audiobooks. Okay, so now we have what you are trying to accomplish, which is going from $0 to $5,000 a month. And now, mind you, on a quick note, it doesn't have to be money. Right? I mean, it could be you want to increase. I mean, usually sales are what we are trying to increase. But remember, this could also be something separate too. And we're going to boil it down because there's going to be goals within goals, right? Because there's got to be goals in order to help us accomplish this big goal. This is our first big goal. So I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month by narrating audiobooks. Now, the last part of this is we have to come up with a time frame. Okay, so how long do we want to give ourselves in order to accomplish this goal from going from $0 to $5,000 a month by narrating audiobooks? Okay, I don't like to go further out than a year. I like to usually stick between, every goal is different, but for this main goal, I mean, I think a year is more than enough time. I think a year is going to be cutting it close. I mean, to go from $0 to $5,000, I mean, remember, making goals is everything, but at the same time, you don't want to make goals that are so ridiculously outlandish because remember, once we meet one goal, we can make another goal. But, I don't like to set goals though for like 3 to 5 years down the road in this particular situation because 3 to 5 years down the road, that's a long freaking time from now. And let's be honest, with the speed of the way everything moves now, you know what I mean? I'm gonna throw it out there to you. If it is taking you more than 1 year or 2 years to get to your goal of $5,000 a month, something's not going. We're not doing something right. Okay, we're not doing something right, or you got to be darn close. Okay, so with that being said, all right, we're gonna flip this out and we're gonna do it. We're gonna say I want to go to. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's give you 2 years. Okay, I want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month by the end of 2021. Now you have a very concrete goal that you will either meet or you will not meet. Okay? You will either do it or not do it, and it is given you parameters. You have to have these parameters in order for the goals to work. Now that we have this overall goal, we need to come up with 1 to 3 actionable activities that we can do every single day to reach this goal by the end of 2021. These activities have to, be doable by you. They have to be able to directly affect the outcome, meaning that, like, for example, if I do, if I do X, then Y will happen, right? That's how I want you to look at that. If I do X, then Y will happen. It has to directly affect the outcome. All right. And at the same time, they need to be exactly what you need to do and nothing else. So if we want to go from $0 to $5,000 a month by narrating audiobooks by the end of 2021, okay, we need to come up with some actionable daily activities that we need to do, right? So the first thing that we need to do, right, or that we know that we have to, that it's going to be something that we can control on a daily basis, and that's something that when we do it will directly affect the outcome. Okay? Clearly, we need to audition. All right? We need to audition for books every single day. Okay? Now, here's where it gets interesting. We need to come up with a new goal for this. All right? Now, these can be smaller goals because there is a process within this, right? There's got to be some testing, because the reason why we've given ourselves until the end of 2021 is not because technically, like right now, you couldn't get a $5,000 book thrown on your lap and you complete it, okay, by the end of the month and you've completed your goal. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is we need this time in order to test out how we are going to be able to accomplish this goal on a repeatable and reliable basis, right? Because you don't want to get $5,000 one month and then you don't get $5,000 ever again. So that's what this time is for us to test out things, all right? So we talked about auditioning, right? So let's say that our next goal is, okay, I want to make, all right, so if we know we want to make $5,000 a month, right? Well, the first goal probably should be, can I make $500 a month? So my first goal is going to be, I want to go from $0 to $500 a month. All right. Now we're going to be specific, right? Because this is something that is controllable. We're talking about narrating audiobooks. So what can we specifically do to narrate, to get audiobook work? We can audition. So I want to go from $0 to $500 a month, right? We're starting with $500. And we're going to do that by picking a random amount, because we don't know. We don't have a baseline of what's going to work. A random amount of auditions that we need to do every day. And the goal, right, is to these auditions, by doing them, that will directly reflect whether or not we will get work or not. If we do auditions, we have the chance to get work. If we don't do auditions, we don't have the chance to get work. Okay? So let's say I pick a nice random number of 5. I'm going to do 5 book auditions a day. Okay? Which means that I'm going to, have by the end of 7 days, 35 auditions. By the end of a month, I am going to have 140 auditions. But we need to go a little bit further, right? So I am going to, let's actually take out the money altogether, because the money is not something we can directly control right now, but we can control the actions. The money is a byproduct of the actions. So I'm going to say, let's go to, I'm going to go from 0, because let's say you're not doing any auditions. I'm going to go from 0 to, how many did I say? 5 auditions a day. And now I want to say, what am I going to do it to? Like, what is my vehicle? So now I can actually say, what type of books can I audition for on what platform, right? So I'm going to use ACX, because I know ACX, you know ACX. If you don't know ACX, it's acx.com, company owned by Amazon, where it brings independent publishers and independent producers, aka voiceover artists, or when they say producers, it can be actually producing houses too, publishing houses. But anyways, it brings these people together, all right, and you can, audition for audiobook work. So you can say that, all right, so I'm going to say that, you know what? I think that 1 out of every 10 auditions, I should get a book. But see, do you see what I'm doing here? I am making conjectures. I'm making guesses at first because we have to. We have to guess at first because we have no baseline for anything until we start testing this stuff out. But you have to test it out in order to get a baseline so then you can determine how much work and what you actually need to accomplish. And more importantly, you need to determine if this course of action, like auditioning, is actually going to be able to get you to $5,000 a month, or do we need to add something else? So going back to this, all right, I'm going to say that I believe that 1 out of every 10 auditions, I should get a book. And so that means that if I do 140, right, was it 140? It was 35, 70, yep, 140 auditions a month, 1 for every 10, that means that I should have 14 book deals. Right? That's pretty insane. Okay, 14 book deals. Okay, so now we need to look at this, right? Because this is important. If that is the case, you might say, all right, well, I have that 14 book deals a month. That's crazy. Let's say that we're only getting, you know what, let's say that we're only going to get 5%. So let's say we get 7, I mean, that's even a lot, 7 book deals. Okay, let's say that we get 7 book deals a month. And so now that we realize that if we do 140 auditions, we want to get 7 book deals a month. So that's roughly 2.5 books, right? No, it's 1.5. Is it 1.5? It's like 1 3/4, 1 to 2 books a week. Okay, basically. And as we do this, we say, okay, well, in order for me to get to 500, okay, because we're talking about the money, but we want to try to get to that goal because that was one of our first small goals, right? To go from 0 to 500 by auditioning on ACX, okay, by what? We're going to give ourselves 3 months to accomplish this goal. I'm just pulling this stuff out of my backside, you guys, to give an idea of how to try it out. We've got to make it up to start. You have to. Okay, you got to make it up to start. And then as we go along, then we can start to build concrete data. So then we can actually begin to see how it will work, because most of us are just starting this from scratch. So there is no industry standard for any of these things. I'm not talking about pricing. I'm talking about, industry standard for how this works for you and how it works for me. It's just not out there right now. So you have to create your own. So I'm going to say I'm going to go from $0 to $500 a month by auditioning for audiobooks on ACX by the end of 3 months. All right. And you could say that. So the first goal is you need to do is okay. So here's the thing. Okay. Let's take a step back. We were coming up with that goal. You got that goal. As we were saying, we were going to do 4 to 7 books or 7 books a month. All right. And we determined that if you're going to do 7 books a month and you want to reach $500, right, you're going to divide this, right? 500 by 7, and that's going to give you what? Like, what is that? 80? 80 would be, 8 times 7 is 56, right? So you've got, so something like, you need to be auditioning for books that are in between the $50 to $100 range. Now, this is because I know ACX and they have ranges. Okay, so this is something that you need to know too. They have a 0 to 50, 50 to 100, 100 to 200, 200 to 400, and then 400 to 1,000. They also have royalty share, which is you get 7 years of royalties for, you split it with the author, but in the end, it's about 20% of each book sale that you get. Or you get royalty share plus, which is royalty plus which is a smaller number, like royalty share for 7 years plus $50 per finished hour. Okay, because these are judged by per finished hour. So this is important work to know too, right? You've got to understand how it all works, how you're going to make money. But we've judged here that we need to be making $70 per book, right? Because we are going to, 7 times 7 is actually $70 per book is $490. So it's so between $70 and $80 per book. Okay. So now we have determined that we need to audition 5 times a day for books that are paying between $50 to $100 per finished hour. And those books need to be at least between an hour, no more than 2 hours long. So now we have a criteria for what we are searching for. That is a solid goal, right? That is a solid goal, meaning that from this point on, you search for books that are between 50 to 100, that are no longer than 2 hours long. And your goal is to do 5 auditions of those types of books a day. If you go through that now, I firmly believe that you should be able to find 5 of those books each day on ACX, because there's way more books, and that's a really good range. Okay, that gets you to $500 as you go through it. Maybe you find by the end of the 3 months, and now you've gotten some book deals where people come back and where you've reached your goal, or you did not reach your goal. But the point here is that by doing this, by making that next right, then you have to take, okay, well, Anthony, what about if I get to 7 books? What do I got to do to be able to finish 7 books in a month? Well, if the books are between an hour to 2 hours, because that's what I told you to search for, every finished hour should usually take you, 2 to 4 hours of work. So that means 7 hours of finished work, or 7 books at 2 hours. That's 14 hours times 3, 14, 28. We'll even say so as time. So we'll even say 56 hours. Okay. So we're talking 56 hours of work for 1 month. Okay. 56 hours of work for 1 month. And that gets you 50, that hopefully will earn you the 500. And probably if you're doing 1 to 2 hours, let's be honest, you guys, it's going to be closer to 1,000, right? It's going to be closer to 1,000, but the goal is to get to 500. At the end of those 3 months, we can go back and say, did we meet our first set of goals? Which was, did we meet the actual goals that we could control? Which was, did we do the 5 auditions a day? Right? And did we audition for the books that were between an hour to 2 hours each day that were paying between $50 to $100? Okay? Did we do that? Did we accomplish that goal? And if the answer is yes, then we can look at our other goal. Okay, well, since we accomplished that goal, did that net us the result of the $500 a month that we were looking for? If it did, great. If it did not, then we can look at that like we just did and add something different. Maybe I need to audition for books that are a little bit more, and I need to do less auditions. Maybe I need to add something over here, like maybe I need to do more of an audition, or maybe I need to do less auditions. Maybe I need to offer a smaller auditions with 2 types of different reads. So maybe instead of the author sent me, 5 pages, maybe I only do half a page, like 3 paragraphs, but I do it and I split the, I try 3 different ways on those 3 paragraphs and see what happens. Like, it's all a test. All right. So this is how you judge. And then after the 3 months are up and you see, let's say that it works. Now you can say, okay, so I know that by doing 5 auditions a day for these books from 50 to 100 gets me $500 a month. Now I'm trying to get to $5,000 a month, right? So, by the way, on a side note, I can pretty much guarantee you that if you do 5 auditions a day and you're doing 140 auditions a month, you're going to make way more than $500. But we're just using this for an example. Okay. So let's say that's what you're doing. So now what you have to look at and say, okay, so now I'm trying to make the next amount. Let's say you want to make $1,000 a month. Okay. So you're going to say, I'm going to give myself another 3 months to make $1,000 a month. And what I'm going to do differently is now I'm going to audition for, maybe you're not going to change how much you audition. I'm still going to audition 5 times a month. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to audition for books now that are 2 to 3 hours long, that are between $50 and $200. So now I'm going to increase the amount of time that I'm doing, and I'm going to increase the price, right? And you're going to start auditioning for that. And then at the end of the 3 months there, you can collect that data and say, okay, what is that netting me? Did I get to $1,000? Did I get to $2,000? All right. Then after that, you're like, oh crap, let's say you got to $1,500. Well, dang, I got to $1,500. All right. Now what do I need to do to get to, $3,000? What do I need to double it? Well, if I increased it by this much, maybe I need to now start and do, 1 hour or 2, or maybe I need to start doing books that are from 3 to 6 hours long. And these books pay from 100 to 400. Between that is where I need to start looking for books. Okay? So then you do that and you're doing your 5 auditions a day. You're getting book deals. Also, here's another caveat. Maybe you decide too that, okay, at this point now, I'm not going to accept books that pay me less than, $175 per finished hour. Okay? Now, this is all one specific goal on ACX. We've not attempted to do anywhere else. We've not attempted to put a gig up on Fiverr. We've not attempted to do anything else. All we are doing is doubling down on what you can actively do every single day with auditioning on ACX. Okay, and then we measure based off of these goals what we are trying to accomplish, how we are trying to accomplish it, and when we are trying to accomplish it by. That's what we constantly look at. That's how we constantly measure ourselves. And if you do this, it will blow your mind, and people will be like, oh my God, you are such an incredible success. How do you do it? It's amazing. You do book after book after book. And you will stop and say, well, actually, it's really not that hard. All I'm doing is auditioning every day. Oh my God, you're auditioning every day. You're a work machine. You're a workaholic. I can't take it. I love you. I mean, and you're like, well, it's actually not that glamorous. It's hard, but I audition every day and I get the books. It blows people's mind, not because they can't do it. We all can do this. You can do this. I can do this. What blows people's minds is actually your ability to manage the process and to boil it down into steps and parts that you can actually accomplish. That's what's special about the way these goals work. Okay? All right. So I've been on my high horse enough. I hope that this helps you out. I really wanted to talk about goals, creating them, a great way to do them, being as we are coming up on the new year, and you should be working on what you want to accomplish for next year. All right. That's a good thing to be doing. Okay. If you haven't done that already, that's great. If you have, that's fine too. Don't be afraid to go back and look at what you've come up with and see if they align with some of these things, okay? And if you don't like the way this goal process is set up, that's fine. Try it out on something small. See what happens. See how it works. Only thing I caution you with is that you want to keep this to 1 to 2 goals, big goals, meaning like you don't want to make more of these. Because these actions that you have to do a day, you've got to, we still have to run the rest of our business, right? We still got to do everything else. We got to run our lives. So everything doesn't stop because we have this big goal, right? All right. So, because you might be making other money other places in voiceover, but let's say you want to make $5,000 a month from narrating audiobooks, right? In 2 years. So that is your big goal. You shouldn't have any other goal like that. You should keep doing the rest of your work. But I'm saying that that's where that focus needs to be on that goal. So I would love to get your feedback on this. I would love for you to try it out. Give it a shot. Give some time to think. Also, as we're bringing this episode to a close, please remember to check out the Fiverr Elite group. It's exciting. We meet every weekend. The whole point of that group is teaching you this stuff except through how to grow your Fiverr account and knock that out of the park. And, I dive in and show you all the goodies inside my top rated seller account. And I help people specifically. I do reviews of accounts live right there in the group. Answer your Fiverr questions, show you all the goodies and all the gold. All right. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much. That link will be in the description below. And also, if you want, you can go to www.avosjourney.com to check that out. But other than that, it is amazing talking to you. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I will talk to you soon. All right. Peace.